Okay, so today is a very cool day. It is Saturday, and there is what's called the Open Farm Days in Madison County, which is just east of where Hannah and I live, and I'm gonna go check it out because I want to be a farmer. So I got my notebook, I got some water, and I'm gonna go spend as much time as I can at as many different farms and just try to get as many different tips and tricks and just some knowledge from these people who have been doing this for a long time, so that when I get my farm started, I'll have more of a running start. Speaking of fumbling around, mistakes have already been made. I created this comprehensive list of places that I wanted to go yesterday, and I forgot it at work. So, yeah. The first one that I'm going to go to is called Huffdalen Farms. It's out in Erieville, New York, which is the furthest one away. So I figured I would start there first and then work my way back towards home. And then there's a few that are a little bit north of home, which I'll go to last. But I really want to see this Huffdalen Farms because they say that they focus on soil health and sustainability. So I want to see how they implement those items. So, all right, let's get going. Wow, that was crazy. I just got so much information from Sarah Huffdalen. She was awesome to talk to. I got a whole page here of little notes that I took. So they do all organic grass-fed dairy on their farm. They do intensive grazing, so that means they have a permanent exterior fence and then a movable interior fence that's just like plastic stakes with some electrified line going between there. So what that allows them to do is move their cows every 12 hours, she said. So every 12 hours, they'll have a group in the barn that's getting milked, and then when that 12-hour mark hits, they'll put them out to pasture, bring the other ones in, milk them, and then just rotate through. And then once they're done with that pasture, they leave it sit for 40 days of rest so that it can recover and grow back. And that's a huge part of the sustainability factor of it. So that makes the grass so much more productive and nutrient dense for the cows. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So Sarah suggested that I go to Local Roots, which is an Amish farm, so that's where I'm going to be headed next. Well, I just pulled up to Local Roots, and there are so many cars here. So this place is probably gonna be pretty good. There's really only one word that I would use to describe Local Roots, and that is diversity. There is so much going on here. That's why there's so many people here. They've got agritourism. They're giving pony rides and feeding chicks. They're making money off of that. And there's produce. They've got so much different plants here. There's squash and flowers and corn and so many different other things. Onions, eggs. They've got broiler chickens. They've got honey. There's so much going on here. Timber production. It's amazing to see. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to speak with anyone because they're just so busy. I just kind of walked around and got a good look at things. And so I've been reading a lot of books, and it's so different to see things versus reading about them. Seeing how they manage their land, seeing the ponds that they dug to get water, seeing the electric fence that they use to control their animals. It shines a new light on things for me. It's really, really cool. All right, I think my next stop is gonna be Three Brothers hops. So I think it'd be really cool to grow some different varieties of hops. It'd just be fun, maybe making my own beer, but I don't know. This is all just a learning experience for me to see what I might be interested in doing. So, all right, let's go. Just saw this beauty on the side of the road, so I'm gonna pick this up for Hannah. Hopefully she likes it. All right. Just got to Three Brothers hops, and already hops are crazy looking. I've never seen hops in person. Obviously I've drank beer and that has hops in it, so it's pretty wild to see how they are grown and what they actually look like. You can see there's the hops right there. So cool. All right, so hops are pretty freaking cool. Just the way that they grow up those strands that they have out there, it's a really neat setup. And then I was talking to one of the Three Brothers, and he said that they grow 20 plus varieties and provide to about 13 different breweries, which is really, really cool. For me to do this at a large scale, they've got high tensile wire and those giant posts and watering system. It would be very, very capital intensive, and we're poor, so can't do that. But I was talking to him, and he said that they spend hours and hours mowing in between the rows, because if the vines get wet, they're very fragile, they're very susceptible to mold. So, you know, water and plant matter breeds mold. So I suggested, you know, what if you run some animals through there to graze the plant matter down and fertilize in between the rows and everything. And he said that they've looked into that, but you know, chemicals for them are easier, which for me personally, we would try, if I was to do this, we would definitely do it with animals and try to be as natural as possible. But still very, very cool to see. I've never seen hops in person, and they're very cool. So my last stop for the day is going to be to an apiary. And one thing that I've noticed, every place that I've gone today that has produce or any kind of vegetables has had bees paired with that. So obviously you need some kind of pollinators to help pollinate your plants and increase productivity. So we're gonna go check out an apiary. Alright, so I just pulled into Rich's apiary, and it just looks like a guy's house. So I don't know. Let's see how they do it. Got a couple of hives back there. Looks like there's more stuff there. So Rich's apiary, he just does it as a hobby pretty much. He said he has 50 to 60 hives, and each hive can make about 100 pounds of honey a year, but he's also said that they need 100 pounds to survive the winter. So if he harvests it all, they're gonna die. So they kind of supplement the hives over the winter with some like sugar water and stuff like that to get them through. But he's got some cool products in there, some beeswax candles and some honey roasted nuts. That looks pretty good. Yeah, it's just a nice little shop he's got here. It's neat. This being my last stop today, I just kind of wanted to reflect on the things that I've seen today. The biggest thing that I've noticed is it's so different than like conventional agriculture. These like local niche places that grow vegetables or produce milk or berries or honey, whatever it is, it's so different than your giant conglomerate that just produces lettuce. Or like back home in Illinois, you just have acres and acres and acres, hundreds and thousands of acres of just corn or just soybeans. Everything's so diverse here, and it's just so different. And it's better for people because the food is more nutrient dense. Your calories aren't coming from thousands of miles away. You get it from just down the road, and your farmer down the road. And I think that's the way that things need to go. So that's partially why I want to get into farming, is to provide that for myself and Hannah and other folks around us. I think there's a good market, a good opportunity for it. I just need to get some knowledge, and that's what coming out here was for, is to for me to get a little exposure, because you can read about things all you want in books. Like I'm reading Joel Salatin's You Can Farm and his Pastured Poultry Profits, and those are great books. I highly recommend those. Getting out here and seeing how people do things just sheds new light on it, and just sparks more interest in me personally. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and like, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and we'll see you next time.